All right, welcome back. We're going to be talking about giving information in this segment. So giving information, there's a way to do it that's effective and that can have an impact that we're looking for. Because how often is it that we go to give our child information and they do nothing about it, or we feel like they don't listen to us? So there's 3 steps into giving information effectively. First off, we want to know what they already know. So if we're going to give them some kind of information, we want to find out what they know. We're going to ask them questions. We're going to ask what they know about the specific topic. What this allows us to do is, 1, hear what they already know, so we don't have to be redundant and tell them things that they already have knowledge on. 2, while we're listening for where there's gaps of information or misunderstandings, because that's the information we want to give, not everything. So this step is important because if we go and give them information they already know, they might start tuning out or shutting us down or not listening to us. So once we identify what they already know, and we've identified where the knowledge gaps are, then we're going to take the next step and we're going to ask permission before we give that information. Now, a lot of times parents have a hard time with this one because they feel like I have the right. I should be able to just tell my child whatever I want to tell them. Yes and no. You absolutely do have a right as a parent, but where does it get you? What kind of outcome do you get when you do this with your child? Now, your child is an independent person. And so when you go ask permission to give them the information, first off, if they're willing to hear and they say yes, well, them saying yes has increased the likelihood they're going to hear what you have to tell them. However, some parents say, well, what if they say no? Well, that's kind of important as well. Think about it. If you gave them information or guidance that they did not want to hear, how much are they actually hearing? Well, if you guessed nothing or very little, you're probably right. Most of the time, if they don't want to hear it and we give it to them, they're not listening anyways. So if they say no, this is critical information because now it gets to open up a different type of conversation. Now we get to say, well, why no? Why do you not want to hear it? And we can find out what's going on with them so that we can address that issue and get in a better place where they are ready to hear what we want to tell them. When you do go give the information, it's important to be concise and to the point. Don't try to be lecturing and go long-winded. Kids will tune out. We want to be exact to what we want to talk about. So try to keep it in small chunks and try to make sure that you get to the point. Step 3. After you've already found out what they know, found the gaps in what they don't know, given information with permission, then we're going to follow up afterwards. So then we're going to ask them a question like, well, what might you do with this information? Or what did you understand from what I told you? This allows us to find out what did they really hear. And then we can go forward with either clarifying something if something was misunderstood, or we find out what they're going to do with the information in case we want to give a little different guidance. So to summarize, again, if I'm going to give information to my child, during times that I'm trying to engage, trying to bring about change, trying to deal with a conflict or a difficult conversation, I'm going to first find out what they know about the information I want to give them. Secondly, I'm going to get permission before giving it to them. And third, I'm going to follow up to see what they got from what I told them. And that's how we give information effectively.